let's say that I was on my last $500. I had no car, I had no house. I was just trying to make it, right? And the last thing I should do is probably invest in anything. I should probably go, find a place to stay, right? Yeah. But let's say that there was that option, and that I was just gonna throw everything on red and just hope for the best. What would you advise someone to do with that last $500?
That's a great one. I love it.
Okay.
Welcome to Mosaic Minds, the podcast where every episode is a colorful blend of perspectives, ideas, and conversation. Each week, our diverse team of hosts brings their unique backgrounds, experiences, and interests to the table. Mosaic Minds is your invitation to join the conversation to see the world through a kaleidoscope of viewpoints. So grab a seat, tune in, and let the mosaic unfold before you.
All right, welcome to another episode of Mosaic Minds podcast. My name is Nick, and this is Jason. And today we are joined by a successful real estate and crypto investor. We have Corey Geary here. He has a really fascinating story, and so I'm just kind of turn it over to him and let him tell a little bit about his background, where he came from, and how he got to where he is now. So, Corey, welcome to the show.
Hey, Nick and Jason, thank you so much. Truly an honor and blessing to be here today. This is going to be awesome. So, yeah, let me just I'll wind back the clock a little bit, start from the beginning of my entrepreneur journey, and I'll kind of really put things in perspective. So I got into real estate, and I started my entrepreneur journey roughly around 11 years, 12 years ago. And what I tell people is real estate saved my life, man. I mean, when I became an entrepreneur, I did it because I was chasing the dollar. But literally, I was an alcoholic. I was a drug addict. I was going nowhere fast but to my deathbed. That's literally where I was going. And literally by chasing the dollar, it forced me in rooms with people like yourselves, people who are always trying to get better in their lives, trying to level up spiritually, mentally, physically. And I joined masterminds, and through that wealth creation journey, man, it changed me. And now I've been sober for multiple years. I have a beautiful family. I live out in Puerto Rico. And that's mainly due to real estate in that journey. And it was awesome, man. I did it for, like I said, about a decade. And back in 2022 is when we were at our height. Actually, probably 2021 was our best year we ever had. But 22 was still pretty good. And I tell people, even though it saved my life, it did a lot of amazing things for me. I also built what I called a 7-figure prison. And what do I mean by that? Well, I was working 16 hours a day. I had 17 employees. I had multiple lawsuits going on because when you're buying homes and selling homes, we were doing 30 deals a month. So problems came up, and there was just a lot of headaches involved. And I went on a spiritual journey in 2022. And I don't know if you or your readers have ever read the book, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Absolutely banger of a book. It teaches you how to stop clawing your way in life to success and let God guide you in your life to success, or the universe. And so I implemented a lot of the meditations that he practiced. I even flew out to his temple and sat with him and meditated with him all day. And, I knew there was something calling me to come out of real estate and do something different. There was, I felt I hit this wall, this grind that was it wasn't me. And I already have been dabbling with cryptocurrency. As an entrepreneur, when you have when your bank account gets a little on the heavier side, you start having shiny object syndromes. You start exploring around with other businesses. I did e-commerce for a little while. That didn't work out too well. But I was dabbling with crypto for a little while. And I knew at the time that cryptocurrency was the highest appreciating asset class known to mankind. I also knew from 2020 and beyond, it made more millionaires and billionaires than any other asset class in the world, including real estate. So I was I thought to myself, what would happen if I put 10,000 hours into crypto the way I put my 10,000 hours into real estate? how could I get to my goals faster? Because I believed that and I believe this for every family tree, that there's one person appointed by God to break the chains of mediocrity, to break that curse of like the 9-to-5, 401k dependent, debt slavery that, that's the norm of everyday living for most people. I believe I was the one in my family to break that. And I knew with real estate, it would have been 30, 40, 50 years before I could do that in that asset class. With crypto, I knew that was like times 10, times 20, times 50, because it's just a much faster asset class, and it was creating more millionaires and billionaires than any other asset class. And so I was like, well, I'm going to give this a real try. And so I started joining masterminds. I started I hired a mentor. I started going to events. I started treating it like an actual asset class. By the end of 2022, I was making more passive income in my crypto portfolio than my 7-figure real estate business was doing net. Not gross, but net. Without all the headache. And so that is when I did decide to let my team members go and wind the business down and pick up and move to Puerto Rico. Because before that I was in Arizona, and that's where I ran that business from. And so I've been out here in Puerto Rico now for 2 years. That next year will be my 3rd year, and it's been absolutely phenomenal, man. I've had the time to do what I want with whom I want, however I want, which is my family, to create memories and experiences with them, because I believe that's the one thing we take beyond in the afterlife. And I've been able to buy my time back and have freedom and make more money than I've ever made before in my entire life, more than I was making in real estate. And real estate was great to me. I mean, it really was. I don't mock it. And in fact, I tell people that I'll probably end up going back to real estate to some degree, but only being the money in real estate. So because cryptocurrency works in cycles, and right now we're in the beginning of the bull run. But when the bull tops out in the end of 2025, what am I going to do with my money? Well, I'm going to go back to real estate. And so we have a saying in our community that we want to use cryptocurrency as a wealth creation tool, and we want to use real estate as a wealth preservation tool. So instead of trying to create wealth out of real estate, we want to preserve wealth out of real estate, and we'll create wealth out of crypto. So that's kind of my hype.
So kind of like in a mutual fund, like you got your safe stuff, you get your risky stuff, you got your generating
tools, and you got to know how to use which tool for the job. That's really how it works. And cryptocurrency is extremely fast. It's extremely volatile. It'll go and do hundreds and thousands of X's. It can change your life, but it also has the most volatile downside to it, than any other asset class. I mean, when you're in a bear market, you can lose anywhere from 75 to 99% of your economic value against the dollar. You don't lose the coins, but you lose the value against the dollar.
Sure.
So the key is to get out during the cycle top and then exit and then come back in and buy the bottom of the bear. In the meantime, you can go and do real estate. You can do other real world assets. Maybe you want to, do some business opportunities. There's other things, you could do in the real world while you're waiting for the bear market. But that's kind of the ideology that we in our community are embracing right now. And right now, it's the best time to get involved in crypto with the bull run coming upon us, with new administration coming into the United States where they're going to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet. This is the first time in history you could front run the United States from buying crypto. You can also front run Wall Street from buying crypto. Wall Street's involved now. The ETFs have been approved. We've never seen this kind of political landscape laid out right in the beginning of a bull run. This could be one of the most parabolic bull runs that we've ever seen.
Hey, Corey, just to clarify, is there any restriction about talking about specific coins with you, just out of curiosity?
No, not at all. In fact, if you guys probably noticed the shirt I'm wearing, this is a coin. I'm froze for a minute, but I'm sure there it goes. It catches up. I'm on Starlink out here, guys, in Puerto Rico, and if there's an overcast, the Starlink's not the greatest. But I'll talk about
that's the Elon Musk, right?
What's that?
Isn't that the Elon Musk internet?
It's the Elon Musk internet, because the Puerto Rico internet's even worse. It's the bottom of the barrel, and you don't have any other option. But the Starlink usually
small price to pay,
Yeah. But when it's an overcast and it's rainy, the Starlink, it has a hard time, I guess, connecting to the satellites.
Talk to us a little bit about the shirt and why wear the shirt.
Yeah,
and
so this
talk
is
to us, introduce us to a new coin.
This is Hex. Hex is a certificate of deposit on the blockchain. It's on the Pulse Chain blockchain, which is only about 1.5 years old, which is key because you want to get into stuff that's brand new if you want to make the outlandish gains. But Hex is great, man. It's probably the largest position in my portfolio. It's done maybe about a 10x just in the last 60 days in the beginning of this bull run, and who knows how much further it will go during this cycle. It's just one of the few coins that I have in my portfolio that I love. But yeah, I don't mind talking about like the coins that we like. I mentioned Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain is a brand new blockchain. So blockchain is like the city that we play in. So for example, Ethereum is a blockchain, and then you have all the coins and projects built on top of Ethereum that you can go buy and play in. Same with Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain is just a blockchain with a bunch of stuff built on top of it, and you can go and participate with the stuff that's built on top of it, or you can buy Pulse itself. And the cool part is it's never seen a bull run. And I got a buddy out here. It's a true story. He sold his optometrist practice back in 2014. This happened to be when Ethereum was first launching. He put about $60,000 into Ethereum when it launched. He's worth $250 million now. He's never had to work or do anything.
That's
ever.
crazy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So with that, this episode will actually air on New Year's Eve, and so what a better way to bring in the new year than to talk about generating wealth, right? So is it? You had mentioned earlier, like the key is to get out, at the top, and I know this is the magic question, but how do you know when you're at the top? And how do you keep from letting your emotion take over and a little bit of greed?
Oh, the greed's there, man, and the emotions are there, but you have to be able to take a step back and be a student of the cycle. Most people don't know this, that cryptocurrency works in 4-year cycles, and it works in this regard where you know where you're at in the cycle down to the month. We know right now we're in the midst of altcoin season. The first top of altcoin season will be the middle of March. The all-time top of Bitcoin will be sometime in September. We're talking about 2025, of course. Between September and November of 2025 will be the all-time top for Bitcoin. It'll start to retrace, and every single time, at 365 days from the Bitcoin top is the absolute Bitcoin bottom. Exactly a year, every single time Bitcoin bottoms from its top. You can pinpoint exactly when to enter the markets and when to exit the markets if you study market cycle theory. But most people don't understand that. They don't think that things, that they don't believe that you could predict a market from just studying charts and studying patterns and studying theory, because you really can't do that in stocks. You can a little bit, and you really can't do it in real estate. In fact, if you had a crystal ball in the stock market to tell you when every crash was going to happen, they'd probably throw you in jail. But really, that's what you have in crypto. That's really crazy. Remarkable.
So why do you think a lot of people don't get in? Do you think it's just all the unknowns because it's so new? Yes.
By the time everybody's in, the volatility will be gone in crypto. There will be a time and place. It might happen in our future. Whether if it's us, maybe our kids, where crypto will be. It will be very docile, like the stock market, where you'll have 20% gains. Maybe you'll lose 20%. Maybe over the year you make 10%. That's going to be crypto at one point in the future when full adoption takes over. The reason why it's so volatile and we have the mad gains right now is because we're still early to the asset class. Now, Bitcoin, not so much. Bitcoin's already starting to mellow out. In fact, you can go buy Bitcoin right now, and this has been aired on New Year's, but today in December 11th, it's $103,000. In fact, I think we went under 100, to be honest with you. And you might get a 2 to 3x max over this market cycle. Well, I got news for you. I didn't get into crypto to make a 2 or 3x. I can go flip houses in real estate and make a 2 or 3x on my money. I got into crypto to get a 10x, 20x, 50x, 100x. And so you want to go and find the new stuff that is launching, the new innovative tech, the new blockchains, the new stuff that has product market fit, good community, good code. And that's what you invest and buy in. Where Bitcoin now is kind of getting to that place like the stock market, where you're not making the outlandish gains anymore, where you're not going to get wealthy beyond your wildest dreams by holding Bitcoin. Now, if you hold Bitcoin for maybe 20 or 30 years, maybe, yeah, you can, but I also do that in real estate. I want stuff that's going to get me to my goals and dreams much faster, much quicker, and that's buying that new stuff. Like the story of my buddy buying Ethereum when it first launched. He got in the ground floor. And that's the power of being early. You can't get those kind of gains buying Ethereum now. But maybe Pulse Chain's brand new. It's never seen a bull run.
All right, Corey, I'm going to crack my knuckles a little bit. I'm observing. I'm loving the conversation. By the way, let's talk a little dollar cost averaging.
Oh, it's my
favorite. Do you believe that you level up from X amount of coins to X amount of coins weekly, monthly, yearly?
Yes.
Or are you always looking for
Not
that
yearly.
Next, latest, greatest?
So not yearly. So what you do is when you have confirmation that you have reached the bottom of the cycle, that is your time to start dollar cost averaging in. And then if it's Bitcoin that you're going to go into first, because that is technically what you're supposed to go into first, because altcoins aren't ready for their run yet. So when Bitcoin bottoms, you go into that first, you go into Ethereum second, and then you go into altcoins. But with Bitcoin, you can dollar cost average in over the course of about a year, about 1 year max. And after that, then you start going into Ethereum and altcoins. And once you get into mid-cycle, which mid-cycle is probably going to be somewhere around January-ish, February-ish, you're going to want to start to pull back the dollar cost averaging, because now you're going through the top of the bull. Right? And so you don't dollar cost average at the top of the bull. In fact, you start dollar cost averaging out. You start doing the opposite. So maybe when like March rolls around, maybe April, May, you start pulling chips off the table monthly, just how you got into the market. We don't try, even though we can get pretty close to timing the bottom and the top, but we don't want to say that we know where the bottom and tops are at. So dollar cost averaging is your friend, especially when you're first starting out in this asset class. It's the best way to control your emotions too.
Yeah, that's huge.
Let's talk a little meme coins. Sorry, I butchered that up a little bit, but I think there's some parabolic gains to be made there. I mean,
I'll tell you a story.
Go ahead.
One of our community members, he came into our community. He had just sold a business too, but he didn't want to start a lot. And he's like, he's got like $3,000. He put it into a new meme coin that was launching on Pulse Chain. His $3,000 turned into $480,000 in 5 days.
Wow.
It was
because I was going to ask you, like, if somebody was just going to buy in, can they make anything off of something of a smaller investment? Like I was going to say, like, $5,000 and under. So that just proves that you absolutely can.
But those are unicorns, man. They're like lottery tickets, right? Like not all meme coins are going to run like that. There's risk, on buying meme coins because they can do nothing. And so you need to make sure you adjust that risk versus like if you're buying a brand new layer 1 blockchain, that's not a meme coin. It has a very good utility as a use case. It has product market fit. You can buy that, and over the course of the bull run, you should do really well. In fact, the average blockchain does a 500x on its first cycle, just on average. But this meme coin, it took off, man. It had a strong narrative. He put $3,000 in. Me and my partner, Dane, we were on an airplane, and we had called the meme coin out in our community. We knew it was launching before it came out, and we just happened to be on an airplane traveling to an event, and he got in right at when it launched. And he threw $3,000 in, and he calls Dane up, and we're at the event, and he's like, "Hey, Dane, you never taught me how to take profits." He's like, "Well, what do you got going on? What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, I put $3,000 into this coin, and now it's $480,000." He's like, "Oh, wow! Let's hop on a Zoom call. Let's get you all squared away." So that was really, meme coins are wild, man. They're like little popcorns. when they run, but they also crash hard too. So you just got to be you got to play it accordingly.
Well,
No,
for our audience and for me, can you guys explain a little bit more about like what exactly a meme coin is versus crypto or versus other things on the blockchain?
Meme coin just has no use case. I'll give you another a good example. You guys, I'm sure, have heard of Shiba Inu.
Yep.
It was huge, right?
I know someone that invests in that.
That was the meme coin last cycle. That was last cycle when it ran hard. It did 1,000,000x, meaning if you'd have put $1 in the Shiba Inu at the bottom and sold the perfect top. Now, I know that would have been very difficult, but for fun, if you would have put $1 at the bottom, sold the perfect top, that $1 returned into $1 million. It is wild, the gains that it returned. All it was is a picture of a dog. That's it. It's a picture of a dog. And there's funny, there was a guy who did this poll. He went out on the street and he had two pictures. On one picture, he had a dog. On the other picture, he had like this complicated math problem with the new Algorand symbol, talking about how it's fixing, one of the proof of stake problems in the blockchain that, the stuff that we need. It's very utility, but it was very high level stuff. And he walked around on the street and he goes, hey, if you have $100 and you wanted to invest, would you want to invest? And he kind of explained the blockchain and the problem that it fixed. And then he pointed over here and he goes, or you can buy this dog. Every single person, every single one said they buy the dog.
Because it's familiar, right? It's something.
You know what, Corey? That's very profound that you just said that. The example that I know that is Warren Buffett says if a first or second grader cannot draw it with a crayon, don't invest in it.
That's right.
And you've just told that story in a graphic. I mean, honestly, let's be real. In my simple mind, you can explain X. I can see a dog on a leash, and I might throw some money at that. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying it makes sense to me.
Yeah, last year the big meme coin was Pepe the Frog. It's just a frog. It did a 220,000x.
So what's the difference between those and the what's the picture, the cards, the virtual cards?
NFTs.
NFTs, yeah, NFTs. So what's the difference between those?
NFT stands for non-fungible token. Just means it's just one of a kind. So when you have crypto, like Shiba Inu, for example, there's trillions of coins, and they're all the same. They're just coins, and you can own like 1 billion SHIB, right? And they're all going to be the same coins. When you own an NFT, you own a one of a kind. It's a non-fungible token, and so it's almost like owning digital baseball cards or Pokemon
one of
cards,
one,
or it's one of one, and so it's like art, or you could actually put deeds from the real estate world into the blockchain, and people are starting to do that now. So there's becoming use cases with this stuff to the real world, but it's just that's all it is. It's not like a bunch of coins. It's just a non-fungible token. So,
is there like a rhyme or a reason behind why one is worth, say, $500,000 and one is worth 50 cents?
Speculation, and because they were more rare. So this is last cycle, guys. If we're referring to the stuff that was popping last cycle. That they had an NFT craze at the top of the cycle, and that's where you saw like the Bored Ape Yacht Club selling for like $1 million. You saw like rap artists buying them and making them their PFPs and like on their social medias, stuff like that. And if you got a very unique one, a very one of a kind that it has like these special rare traits associated to it, then that's when they got really expensive. But man, in the bear market, they all got crushed like 99%.
Corey, let me ask you a question here. So say I don't know you, but I'm listening to Mosaic Minds and listening to your expertise on the crypto market for the first time. How would it look for me to follow your methodology from a mainstream perspective? Like, are you part of an investment group? Do you kind of keep that under your sleeve? Do you have objectives? Like, kind of walk me through that a little bit. I'm just curious.
Great question, and I'll kind of tell you the story how it happened. So when I left real estate, And when I left, it was like everybody was, oh, what are you going to do now? I don't understand. What you're doing this crazy crypto thing. They're like, teach us. Like, I really didn't want to at first. I was like, nah, like I'm just going to move out to Puerto Rico and invest in crypto and be low key. But my business partner, Dane, who we went in partnership together on this education company, he was already starting to teach some real estate entrepreneurs. He's got a very similar story like me. And he calls me up one day and he's like, Corey, he goes, I know you know a lot about crypto. You're having a lot of success. He goes, let's team up, man. Let's team up and teach these entrepreneurs how to have a little bit of exposure, a little bit of diversification. They don't have to go all in like we are, but a lot of these guys want to know more about this and they have no idea because all they know is real estate. That's all they know. And so like, I was like, all right, let's screw it. Let's do it. And so we did it. We started, screaming at the top of our lungs that we're doing this crypto thing, how much passive income we're making. And if you want to come along for this journey, this ride with us, hit us up. And our group grew. We have 255 members now that we're educating in this space where we're bringing them along this journey with us through the market cycle, teaching them how to do passive income, teaching them how to do true decentralized finance. That means where you hold your own keys. You're not relying on a Coinbase. You don't rely on a crypto.com. You're the one that controls your coins. You're your own custodian, being your own bank, using crypto the way it was intended to be used. And we educate all these entrepreneurs on how to do that and have some exposure and diversification. And so it's been a blast. We sign up now probably between, I think last month we got probably about 17 new entrepreneurs who came into our community. And we just show them what we do and how we do it. And we share all the due diligence we do. We eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. We love it, and so we're sharing all those findings with them. Of course, they have to make the decision at the end of the day to push the buttons. We're not financial advisors, but if they want to follow along and do what we're doing, we're more than happy to show them.
I don't want to go into too much detail, but it would be good for the link at the end of the show. Is this kind of a subscription deal? Is this kind of VIP membership? Like how does that look from outside looking into you?
Mastermind style. So you come into the community, you pay one time, and you're in the community for life. We don't believe keep beating up our community over and over, monthly, yearly. Now it's an expensive one-time fee, but once you're in for life, right? And we're going to be there not only through the crypto wealth creation part of your journey, but we're also going to be there for the wealth preservation part of the journey, which is super cool. We even have this trust that we set up where you can sell your crypto portfolio, go into real estate, come back out of real estate, go back into crypto, and not pay taxes.
What?
They're all deferred.
That's crazy. Wow.
They're all
That's
deferred.
awesome.
And so we have stuff like that for our community. Plus we'll have real estate deals for our community to go into. So it's the whole enchilada for one price. They come in, it's mastermind style, it's community. We hop on Zoom calls every other week. We're in a Telegram channel where we're in there every day talking about what we're buying, what we're selling, what we're doing due diligence on, what's the new thing coming out, right? It's a lot of fun, and it's just it's been awesome to bring all these people with us.
So whatever the entry fee or whatever the price is to enter, would you say that with the information, not that the information isn't that and more valuable, but would you say with the information given that the majority of the people that come aboard that do the work at very least get their money back, like earn their money back through investment?
It's easy, man. That's easy to get your money back in our group. Okay. Literally, you can get the money back from the passive income you make. Most people don't realize you can make passive income in crypto. It's wild.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
Yeah.
How do you make passive income in crypto? And I'll explain a couple ways on how we do it. But you can make that back in a month. Now, obviously, it depends on how much you invest. If you're coming in, if you're only investing a few $100, making like 80% on a few $100 is not gonna. You're not gonna be able to pay the right. So, but yeah, man. I mean, the passive income can be wild. I'll give you a couple examples of passive income. So, what is Coinbase's business model? Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, Crypto.com. These are centralized exchanges. Their business model is they offer up assets to the public to trade back and forth, and they make fees every time a trade happens. That's their business model. That's it.
Yep.
Well, in decentralized finance, we don't use Coinbase. We don't use Kraken. We don't use Binance. So where do I buy my assets from? Well, I buy them peer-to-peer on the blockchain. So
which is how it originated, right?
That's how it originated. That's real crypto. So you can go to a decentralized exchange where people like us are putting up the liquidity and go and buy your assets. But who gets all the fees? We do. So if I own Hex and Ethereum, you got to own at least two for this type of strategy to work, and you put them in a liquidity pool, the marketplace will trade back and forth in between them. I make all the fees. I'm the Coinbase now. I'm the
awesome.
crypto.com.
For sale by owner in the real estate, right? I mean, that's kind of like the same interchangeable term.
Yep. Or being like a broker.
Yep.
So except for you don't need a license for this. This is decentralized finance.
Yeah, I think why it's always been so confusing to me because I've just like everybody else I've been like throwing some money here and there in crypto, but it's usually been like
a casino.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like because I traded some Forex for a few years, and it got to where the reason I stopped is because it basically got to where I just felt like I was gambling. I couldn't control my emotions. I'd see it go up and I'd be like, yeah, because it was so volatile, so I was like, hell yeah. So I would do that, but then I guess I try to equate that with kind of like crypto in my mind because they're both, a currency. And I think that's where I fall off between that and then just not being able to control the gambling portion of it.
Well, the good part is if you came into our community, we don't trade or we don't swing trade or day trade. So we do market cycle trading, right? So we're going to play the cycle, but most of the time we treat our crypto just like real estate. We buy, we hold, and we cash flow. That's it. And then we'll sell when the cycle is telling us that we need to sell. That's it. You dollar cost average in the bear markets, and you dollar cost average in on the top of the bulls. Otherwise, you're just buying, holding, and cash flowing.
So, do you guys, when it comes to crypto, do you kind of like the stock market or Forex? Do you guys trade the news and then also do like the patterns, like the Fibonacci stuff, all that?
Cycle, man. And I got a little secret for you. What controls the cycle is what's called the Global Liquidity Index. Go look it up when we get off, or any listeners who are listening to this, go Google Global Liquidity Index, and you will see the secret sauce that controls crypto. What that is ever since the dollar's been taken off the gold standard, every 4 years, there's an influx of mass inflation that's injected globally every 4 years. If you just notice what's going on with the United States right now, they're lowering the interest rates. Donald Trump is about to come in and turn the money printer back on to go burr like crazy. Global Liquidity Index is ticking up right now. You could trace it back, like I said, all the way from when we came off the gold standard. That's what controls crypto.
Wow. That is so cool. So if here in a minute we'll get, and I assume that you are still accepting people into your group right now? Like you're not. Okay. Yeah. So here in a minute, we'll get information on how to get a hold of you and how to do all those things and where to follow you on. But I wanted to ask this, and let me give the disclaimer that this is a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
But
not
I just want to
advice.
ask. Yeah. So yeah. I am not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. So
right.
If let's say that I was on my last $500. I had no car. I had no house. I was just trying to make it, right? And the last thing I should do is probably invest in anything. I should probably go, find a place to stay, right?
Yeah.
But let's say that there was that option, and that I was just gonna throw everything on red and just hope for the best. What would you advise someone to do with that last $500?
That's a great one. I love it.
Okay. Well, am I assuming they know DeFi and they can get in and like operate and get to the tokens that I buy, or am I assuming?
Yeah, I guess there are a lot of moving parts there, right?
Yeah, or do I assume they have to go to Coinbase and buy something off of there? Like, there's
I guess they would probably end up going to Coinbase or Crypto.com, something like that.
Yeah, see, that's hard because, like, well, here's another analogy, and this is real estate investors really get this. Where is the best real estate deals? Off market or on market? Off market. Yeah, you can. Once in a while, you can find a deal on market. We would scour the MLS and get stuff once in a while. But crypto is the same. If you wait till Coinbase lists the coin, that's on market. The whole world knows about it. You've missed most of the gains. That's it. It's if someone had $500 and they could get into DeFi, I'd go buy PulseX. Go buy PulseX with your $500. Put it in PulseX, hold and pray, and come back 6 months and see what it's worth. There you go.
Hey, Corey, I'm going to give you a follow up to that.
Okay.
So, from the research I've done, and I agree with you absolutely. I think those are easy. Most people can do that. What I'm intimidated by is what you're talking about, and I'm going to butcher this, and you're going to have to add clarification to the audience. It's the pink sheets and the white sheets of where I've got to do this step, and this step to get it before it's out to the masses.
Yep.
Out of curiosity, does your group help navigate that in layman's 100, 200 level term for everybody to understand?
You hit the nail on the head. So we're going through and we're sharing screen. We're showing you what buttons to push, what buttons maybe not to push, why we're investing, the due diligence we found, any red flags that might have popped up, how are we adjusting our risk from those red flags, and step by step how to get into that coin. We teach everyone how to basically do what we do, right? For example, how to operate a hardware wallet. Let me show you one of my hardware wallets. This is where I store my keys for my crypto. And so this is going to take some learning. You're going to have to get in there and figure out how to operate this thing, but you're learning to be your own bank. You're learning how to have self-sovereignty here. You're learning how to do peer-to-peer, permissionless, resistant transactions. Listen to that word, permissionless. Nothing in our life is permissionless. If I take my beautiful wife to dinner and put it on the credit card, I got to require permission from the bank. They'll let me do it because I got money there, but I still need their permission. If I go to the ATM and pull cash out, I need the bank's permission. Everything we do is with a permission. Crypto's truly permissionless. My brother sent me $20,000 3 weeks ago on a Sunday night at 1 a.m. for me to create some miners for him. There was nobody in between that transaction. It was just me, him, and the code. He lives in Arizona. I live in Puerto Rico. I received it in less than 10 seconds. And so that's the power of controlling your own bank. And so it's super cool that, they created this system because it really does solve a problem. We have this overreaching government. We have Big Brother. We have these banks that control our money, kind of control our life, basically. And the guy who created Bitcoin saw a problem with this. In the last crash of 2009, he's like, there's going to be a better monetary policy, and I want to create a monetary policy for the people. Not for the centralized entities of the world that want to control everything. We want to create something for us that we can control, that we have the power. And that's what crypto really is. And so we have to, now there's a lot of learning that goes along with that. So to your point, I know I kind of got on a tangent there, but there's a lot of little steps, a lot of, like you said, a lot of your pink and white, like, oh, you don't do this, but you can do this. And we walk you through every step. In fact, we even have part of our program, if you want, it costs more money, of course, but you can have your own dedicated DeFi instructor who will work with you for an entire year. So meaning anytime you turn your crypto laptop on and you do a transaction, you're going to have your own personal coach walking you through step by step. So we've gotten that granular with it because some people want and need that. While other people, they're like, no, I just put me in the group and I'll figure it out a little bit just by watching you guys. So we got both ends of the spectrum there.
Corey, I tip my cap to you, and I want to say that you've been a perfect Mosaic guest.
Yeah,
because you we like to say, and you're going to hear this a lot through our episodes, we like to liken it to the sunlight piercing that glass, and it's very colorful, and you see certain parts of the color in the glass merge. You did a perfect job of taking the articulation of real estate, bridging it over to crypto during certain runs. Let's bring it back over here. Let's do some wealth preservation. So I want to tip my cap, and I'm going to let you. I'm going to let Nick kind of finish up from there.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to ask. So where do you see the future of crypto in general going? As far as there's rumors of it's going to be regulated, and that kind of thing. And that could maybe it is, maybe it's a rumor. And then also like as far as liquidity, I mean, did you see within the next say 10 years someone being able to go to almost any restaurant and whip out their I guess it'd be their Bitcoin wallet, or their crypto wallet, and just be able to pay right then and there with whatever the crypto?
It's already transpiring. And let's talk about both those things because they kind of coincide together. Regulation is coming, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because this asset class is so new, and there's so many people getting rich that the bad guys are here too. Obviously, there's a lot of scams, there's a lot of rug pulls. There's a lot of Ponzi's. There's a lot of stuff happening here that shouldn't happen. But we also don't want too much regulation, overarching regulation that we saw with the SEC for the last couple of years. In fact, that's why Donald Trump is firing Gary Gensler, is because he pretty much kept crypto depressed in the United States, and we want crypto to evolve in the United States. Now, I believe in the future, as far as like between regulation and liquidity, and what's really going to happen is the governments of the world, the overarching banks that we talked about that we're trying to get rid of, they're creating their own blockchains and their own form of cryptocurrencies. They're called CBDCs. CBDCs stand for Central Bank Digital Currencies. Now I'm putting the tinfoil hat on a little bit here, guys, but like bear with me. But they can control the masses, the population, if you can control the money. That's how you control the masses, if you control their money. Well, the fiat dollar that we know it, that we keep in our wallet, is going away fast. They're printing it into an oblivion. It's getting worth less every single day. There will be a time when this is going to be worth nothing, and then they're going to come out with these CBDCs and be like, hey, we have this new monetary policy. This is our system. Come and use our system. Well, be careful with that, because with that comes, in my opinion, socialism, because now they can turn your money off. They can control what you spend your money on. They see everything what you do, and that's scary. Now,
and that's the opposite of what it was intended for, right?
Boom. There will be a financial war of sorts in the future. I don't know if it's going to be in my lifetime or my daughter's lifetime. Who knows? But it's coming, where you're going to have CBDCs on one side of the spectrum, and you're going to have DeFi, decentralized finance, where people have their freedom to transact, freedom to invest, freedom to grow their wealth, freedom to buy a meme coin if they want to, right? The things that we can do with this stuff, and have self-sovereignty, be in our own bank, and having these ethos that we love and adore about crypto. That's the problem it solves for humanity. But I promise you, the government, the overarching governments, are not going to just lay back and let that happen. They are trying to implement their own control over the system, and that will be done with CBDCs. It's already happened in the United States. It got approved last year, although Donald Trump says he is not going to initiate it. It got approved under Joe Biden. It's called Fed Now. That's another thing you can go Google when you get off of here. Go Google Fed Now, and you'll read all about it. It's a CBDC settlement layer from bank to bank. It's basically a pilot system before they roll that out to the masses.
Wow. Now, this is fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
I could talk about this all day. This is great.
Yeah.
So
you opened a can of worms, and I was like, well, I'm not going to go into this one, but all right, let's go.
Well, Corey, where can everybody find you as far as on your social media, and if they want to be a part of your group and that sort of thing? How can they contact you?
Absolutely, the best way is reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And it's me that's on there. It's not like a VA. It's for Facebook. It's Corey Geary, just how it's spelled here on the screen. On Instagram, it's the Corey Geary, and then Twitter, it's Corey_Geary 5555. That's a hex logo. You'll see a bunch of crypto stuff on Twitter. Like crypto lives on Twitter. So you'll see my profile there. It's very cryptoed out. Where like on Facebook, you'll see all my previous real estate stuff. It's like almost like that's my real estate profile, or Twitter's my crypto profile. And so you can DM me there, hit me up, ask about the community. If you want to jump on a discovery call to see if it's the right fit for you, more than happy to do so. It won't be me hopping on that call with you. We have another person in our community that does those calls for us. But yeah, it'd be more than happy to answer any questions for you. You can also go to DeFi Cash Flow Systems and kind of just see what we're all about, what we're doing there. .com, DeFiCashFlowSystems.com. But like I said, the easiest way is you can reach out direct to me and DM me, and I'll answer.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks so much for being on the show. We'll probably want to have you back at some point because still lots to talk about. I feel like we just touched the tip of the iceberg today. Yep. So. And I was, the group sounds like something that I'd want to be a part of.
Right. Absolutely. If you guys like money, I don't know.
I'm
Who
not,
doesn't,
I'm
right?
not opposed
Who
to
doesn't,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's more the freedom that you talk about than the money. You know what I mean? Like I love the idea of, being in Puerto Rico, not having to get up to an alarm clock. I think that's a lot of people believe that the American dream is money when really it's time and freedom.
It's time and freedom and escape velocity. You have to get escape velocity from that 9-to-5 debt slavery before you can go and live God's purpose before those dreams that you have and envision about, whether it be as an entrepreneur, creating a business, whatever it is, you have to get escape velocity.
Yes,
Corey, I'm going to send you out with this, man. You did a great job of giving knowledge to all levels. If I'm likening it to a college classroom, I think you spoke to the freshmen on up the years, right? You spoke some master's level stuff as well. So I think tip my cap to you for staying humble with us. Continue to kill it, and let's go on those runs and fatten the pockets a little bit.
Appreciate it, guys. Absolutely. Let's do it.